Hey guys, Damian Leone, director of Terrifier and Terrifier 2, and you're listening to Horror Geekdom.
Welcome to the Horror Geek Dungeon, the dungeon where we geek out on all things horror, thriller, mystery, and suspense. And this is my top 10 horror movies for 2023. Yeah, I'm a little late, but hey, I put these things out when I feel like it, basically. And plus, I just needed a little extra month to get a few final movies in there to view that I didn't get a chance to watch last year. So first of all, let's just clarify that this is my list. Now, mine means not yours. So if there's a movie on here that you don't think should be on this list, or if I there's a movie on here that's not on this list that you think should be on there, or you don't like the ranking on how I have it, well, tough. Take your PMS medicine, get over yourself, because you take this shit way too seriously. Okay, and let me just talk about the elephant in the room. Skinamarink is not going to be on this list. Okay, let's get that out there right now. The Outwaters is not going to be on this list. And you know what? I'll tell you why. Because those two movies suck. All right? I mean, a David Lynch movie makes more sense than Skinamarink. All right? 4 minutes and 33 seconds has more value and entertainment than The Outwaters. And kudos to you if you understood that musical reference. All right? I think those two movies are lazy. They're boring. Well, some people say, well, Tom, that's elevated horror. Elevate these nuts, okay? Those movies suck, and they are not going to be on this list, all right? Forget about that. But before we get into my top 10 horror movies of 2023, I'm going to do some honorable mentions. The first honorable mention is actually a TV series, which I just loved, and that is Fall of the House of Usher. Mike Flanagan does it again, hits it right out of the ballpark, out of the stadium. Now, I like initially I liked the Haunting of Hill House. That was really cool. The neat thing I enjoyed about that is seeing what was all going on in the background, because how many Easter eggs and stuff that was kind of, like kind of slipping through in the background that you probably may not have noticed. And then the Haunting of Bly House, that was okay. I didn't like it as much as Hill House, but the Fall of the House of Usher, that was fantastic. That was fantastic. I mean, the character, and I forget the actress's name, but she played she basically played the Raven, and I mean she looked like she had a lot of fun doing that role, and just it was cool to see Mark Hamill in there doing something doing something new. So yeah, really enjoyed Fall of the House of Usher. Now, the next honorable mention, you might say, well, that's not a horror movie. Well, screw you. Uh, my honorable mention, second one, is Godzilla Minus One. Uh, Finally, we get a Godzilla movie that is done right. And it even has the human component or the human story that we actually care about. I mean, if you take the entire, I mean, if you take the whole in, uh, concept of the Godzilla out of the movie, you still have a really good movie. It's a good period piece, good human trauma. It's a great you know historical in a sense where it's a you know the characters may be fictional, but it's on the backdrop of something that actually happened. And then for people, and then you just add the Godzilla in there, and that's what makes it a kaiju movie and a horror movie. And when you talk about and consider what Godzilla represents, that's pretty horrible. And you know what? If anything, I'll tell you this: if there's anything that the Godzilla minus one movie proves, is that Americans can read subtitles. I mean, I saw it was released not even a week ago that Godzilla minus one is the number three top grossing foreign movie in America. I have no idea what number one and number two is, but Godzilla minus one is number three in foreign movies top grossing in America, which proves to me and shows to me that if you really want to see something, if you really want to put the effort in, Americans can read subtitles. So I don't want to hear anybody say, "I don't want to watch any, foreign horror movies because I don't like reading stuff." Bullshit. You're just lazy. And you're missing out because there's some really good horror movies coming out of like South Korea, Spain, Japan. I mean, you want to see some really effed up horror movies? Watch some Japan horror movies. Okay, and they might have some dub stuff, but really, if it, a lot of times when a movie is dubbed, it's not done very well. Okay, a lot of times you just gotta hear the movie in its native language to get the whole the emotion and the inflection of what the actors are saying in their native language. And if you try to dub that over with American voice actors, half the time that's substandard. It doesn't come across very well. Now, if they do a sub, well, and the voice actors are really, emoting on that. And yeah, you might be, but I could count on one hand how many times that's been done successfully. So, get your head out of your ass, put forth the effort, and go see a foreign horror movie in its native language and read some damn subtitles because I know you could do it. You just don't want to. So screw that. And you're missing out. That's all there is to it. All right, so now we get into the list itself. So here's my top 10 horror movies of 2023 according to moi. So number 10, I have Knock at the Cabin. Now, a lot of people kind of poo-pooed on this one. And I can understand it. It's one of those things that a lot of times where the book is better than a movie. So I think a lot of people that were disappointed with this movie most likely read the book by Paul Tremblay. And then that's another thing. And Night Shyamalan, what the hell is the deal of not listing Paul Tremblay on the poster of this movie? A lot of times when you have a movie that's based on a book, you have somewhere in the credits or on the poster at least, based on a book by such and such. And Night Shyamalan didn't even, give shout out to Paul Tremblay about this. So what the hell? But yeah, if you read the book, you know that M. Night Shyamalan, he by the third act, he pretty much pissed away the source material and just went off on his own thing, as he usually does. I know there's a movie coming out this year by his daughter called The Watchers, and yeah, it's based on a book. So I'd like to see if the apple falls far from the tree as far as, if she stays true to the source material, or if she's going to go off and, do her own thing, uh, artistic license or some shit. But if you're going to make a movie based on a book, at least try to do the best you can to stay to the story, stay true to the material. I mean, come on. And then, you know, uh, and Dave Batista. I mean, I'm a big wrestling fan, and Dave Batista has always been one of my favorite wrestlers, WWE. Um, but yeah, I think Dave is far more successful as an actor than, any of those other, that other guy, Dwayne. I mean, because let's face it, every single movie that The Rock acts in, he basically plays the same character every single time. But Dave, he has a lot of range. Every movie I see him in, he's getting better and better and better, and he has shown that he has a wide range of different characters and movies and styles of movies that he can do. I mean, I saw an interview with him late night TV where he was talking about he's wanting to do a rom com. You know what? I think he could do it. And if he does, I'll watch it. That'll be one of the few rom coms I ever watch, just because Dave Bautista's in it, and I'm a big fan of his. So yeah, go Dave. So number 10 is Knock at the Cabin. Number 9 is Megan. Now, this is one of those movies. This is a good, I think, gateway horror movie. Now, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do with, the PG, what it was, a PG or PG-13 rating, and then they came out with the unedited, yeah, the unedited, the more violent one, and basically all it did is add maybe what. No, I don't think they added even 60 seconds of additional footage, and it wasn't that more violent. It wasn't gorier. It wasn't bloodier. It just, you know, stuck in some added few seconds of footage that ended up on the editing room floor the first time they put it out, the PG version of it. And then, so the unedited version is really not that different from the original theater version. But it was a cool movie. I liked it. I would really like to see Megan versus Chucky, or I don't know. The not the the possessed Chucky, but the remake of Chucky. What was that? I think the name of the doll in that one was Buddy, the one where Mark Hamill did the voice for Buddy, but it still had the child's play, Chucky franchise type thing. And I think that's where that movie kind of shot itself in the foot. But yeah, I want to see a Megan versus Buddy movie. You know, who would win on that? Huh? Put your give me your comments and you know reach out to me either by Twitter, Facebook, or whatever. And yeah, all those links are in my link tree, so that's in the listed in the show notes of this episode and every episode that I put out. So if you care to, go to there and follow me on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. I do have a Patreon, but I really don't talk about it that much because I don't put out much content. When I do, I only put out content when I frickin' feel like it. So yeah, so I don't talk about my Patreon that much, but it's out there. All right. So number 9 is Megan. Number 8 is Suitable Flesh. This was a This is sort of like in the same vein as Reanimator and From Beyond. Um, it stars, of course, Barbara Crampton, and my God, Barbara. I forget how old she is, but she's in her 60s at least, and damn, she looks good. I wow. I wish I looked that good. I'm reaching 60 right now, but yeah. And people may think, oh, that's all makeup and stuff. Like, no, 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 no. If you follow Barbara Crampton on Instagram, she likes to do like hiking and go out on the forest and go on trails and do hiking, and she'll take pictures of some of the scenes that she's hiking and camping out on. But yeah, when she does pictures of her out in the forest hiking and camping, she looks just as good as she does, under the filming lights and the makeup and stuff. I mean, she just has a natural beauty to her, and she's in her 60s. My God. So anyway, Suitable Flesh is one of those kind of, I don't know, body swap type movies, where it's like, and it's the third act is pretty wild because they're the 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 entity or the demon that's going from body to body is I mean they're switching back and forth and to the point where you don't know whose soul is possessing whose body, and and also the Suitable Flesh also is one of the most erotic movies that I have seen where the actors don't take their clothes off. I mean, they're basically dry humping each other in some of these scenes. So it's wild. It's very erotic, very sexual, um, but yeah, there's no nudity at all. That's pretty wild. So number 8 is Suitable Flesh. Number 7 is Renfield. I really enjoyed this movie. Yeah, it's campy. Yeah, it's cartoonish. I mean, God, you have Nick Cage as Dracula. But this movie follows Renfield and his desire to just kind of get away from his toxic relationship with Dracula, and it deals with it, it deals with trauma, it deals with narcissism, gatekeeping. The gore in it, quite a bit of it is CGI. That a lot of the blood is CGI, but it's done well and it fits the tone of the movie, which is almost like this, I don't know, cartoonish, campy comedy. But yeah, Nick Cage as Dracula. Yeah, he's the movies he's done is he's really come into his own. That he has that particular acting style that just lends itself to movies like this. So yeah, I really liked Renfield. So number 6 is Infinity Pool. Mia Goth. Yeah, some people have said Mia Goth is sort of like really a pain in the butt in this movie. Well, no, duh. That's the character she's portraying, okay? But this is one of these movies that it's almost like a horror sci-fi, but it follows a group of people, very rich people, elites, high life type people, and they go around doing all these crimes. Well, in this particular world, if you commit a crime, flat out, you are sentenced to death. But if you're rich enough, you could buy and purchase a clone. They will clone you, and then your clone will be the one that will be executed. And you get to sit and watch your clone be executed. So basically, these people go out doing all these crimes knowing that they're not going to get penalized for it because they'll just, they'll just have a clone made of themselves and have the clone get executed. and then they could just go on and do some more crimes. So it's pretty wild, pretty wild story there. So yeah, and I'm not going into any like spoilers in any of these things. So if you want me to do like a specific, detailed review of any of these movies, again, reach out to me and let me know. Otherwise, I'll just, you know, I'll do a review of any of these movies if I feel like it. But if you let me know and say, hey, I want a review of this movie, let me know which one, and I might be prodded or incentivized to do that for you. All right, number 5 is No One Will Save You. This is a cool movie concept that basically is there's no dialogue in this movie. I think there's maybe 2 or 3 sentences at most, but this is a home invasion movie, and it also turns out to be an alien invasion home movie. And I don't know the again I'm talking out of the seat of my pants here because anybody who listens to these things know I don't script these things. But yeah, the acting in this is great because since the character is not talking, other than maybe like the 2 or 3 sentences that she actually says near the end, um, you could still understand what's going on, which says a lot about number one, the acting, the facial expressions, the body movements, body language, just the reactions of the actors, playing off of one another, and also of the cinematography itself. You really don't. You could watch the whole movie with no dialogue and still know what's going on. Now, the ending, the very last bit of the end, maybe like the last, I don't know, 2 minutes, is I enjoyed it because it's one of those things that you can interpret it different ways. So this movie is good to talk about it later and just share and discuss and debate about what you think the end of the movie means. And I like movies like that. So number 5 is No One Will Save You. Number 4, after what, 10 movies and 20 years, they finally got it right, is Saw X or Saw 10, or I call it Saw X. But Jimmy Cricket, it took them that long to really, go back to form and find the elements of a Saw movie that made it so great to begin with. I mean, the first you can never. Personally, I think the first Saw movie is the best. Saw X is a very close second. In fact, Saw X takes place in between, I think, Saw 1 and Saw 2. Again, they brought back Tobin Bell, so they're focusing on Jigsaw. They're focusing on John Kramer. They bring back Amanda, and lay off of Amanda about her haircut. I mean, think about it. If this movie takes place between Saw 1 and Saw 2, she had just finished going through the bear trap test or trap. All right? She is a recently recovering drug addict. All right? So she doesn't have the long hair shit that she has in Saw 3, or what was it, 3 or 4, I think it is. I think it was Saw 3. Um, but yeah, so her hair is still growing in, So, you between having short hair and having long hair, and your hair's gonna look kind of crappy. So just keep in mind, during Saw X, she is rather recently recovering drug addict. So, and then the relationship that Amanda and John Kramer have, uh, the aspect of feeling or empathizing and feeling sorry for John Kramer. And it's like so the first the first hour, it's like, what the hell? Am I feeling sorry for Jigsaw? I mean, yes, Jigsaw is a terrible person. He's a killer. And in spite of the line that he says in the movie, we don't kill. Yes, you do. All right. But yeah, after the first hour, it's like, am I feeling sorry or empathizing for Jigsaw, John Kramer? What the hell? And really, this is the first time in a Saw movie where the antagonist is worse than Jigsaw. These are the. I mean, you really want to see these people go through the traps, and it's like, yeah, these people they deserve everything that's coming to them, and wildly, they have an antagonist that can best Jigsaw. I mean, is there any antagonist in any of the Saw movies that is more evil than Cecilia? I don't think so. And the fact that she's still alive at the end of the movie. Oh, I'm sorry. That's one. I said I wasn't going to do any spoilers, but yeah, that's one spoiler. Sorry, I lied. Sue me. But yeah, so hopefully she's going to come back. Well, I'm sure she's going to come back. But yeah, so hopefully, now I understand they have the writing team that's going to do Saw 11 is not the same writing team that did Saw X. So I hope that they don't screw it up. They take they learn and take what Saw X did, and they expand upon that. Don't be going back to the whole convoluted bullcrap that what Saw 4 through 9 was. And really, can you really? I mean, Spiral and then Jigsaw movie. Can you really call those two Saw movies? I don't know. Maybe I think those two movies are, those are the Saw movies that we do not talk about. But yeah, after 10 movies and 20 years, they finally got their act together, got back to form, got back to what worked, and they did a fantastic job with Saw X. And I hope that the new writing team for Saw 11 continues that trend. Coming in at number 3 is Evil Dead Rise. I don't think I've seen an Evil Dead movie that was bad. I mean, there's ones that are more favorite than others, but really, this movie was good. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the call outs, uh, specifically to Evil Dead 2. I like the mother that played it. Now I understand that the actress that played the mom in Evil Dead Rise hates horror movies. She never watched any horror movies. She hates them, but yet she was able to do with her body language, her acting, her voice, her facial expressions, everything was able to just get under the skin and just creep the hell out of you. Now that speaks volumes and large kudos to number one, the directing, and number two, just the talent of the actor playing the mom. But yeah, I really enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. It was it got out of the cabin in the woods type of thing. It's in a high rise. So yeah, number 3, Evil Dead Rise. Number 2 is Talk to Me. This movie was basically made by a pair of YouTube creators who were, got a chance. I mean, they done a lot of really fantastic and creative YouTube videos, and they got a chance to do a full length horror movie. And it takes this movie is unique in a sense that it takes a very tried and overdone trope of the Ouija board, but they do it in the sense of it's an embalmed hand, and you basically hold the hand and say talk to me, and there's supposed to be like a spirit that appears, and then when you say I let you in, you will give that spirit permission to overtake your body. Now, this movie deals with addiction because basically, when these teenagers are doing these, they basically hold these parties where they have the hand and they take turns doing the whole talk to me thing, and they videotape it on their phones and post it on Instagram or post it on social media. But they get addicted on this thing. It's like a drug. So this movie deals with addiction. It also deals with suicide. It deals with grief, and it's one of Sophie Wilde is an incredible actor. She plays Mia, and her mom basically committed suicide, and one of the spirits that comes through during these one of these talk to me seance type things is her mom. Mia is one of these characters that throughout the entire movie she keeps making bad decisions. She makes the wrong decisions. Everything she does, everything she decides just makes things worse. And the way that the character is portrayed, it's one of those things that I understand where she's coming from. I empathize with it. It's same thing with like Jigsaw or Saw X, where you're empathizing with the killer. Well, and Talk to Me, I was empathizing with Mia because I was like, girl, I understand what you're going through, but geez, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's a stupid thing to do. You're making a mistake. You're going to make things worse. Christ, girl, get some grief counseling. At least, please. But but I'm still, hoping that she, comes out okay. Now, compare that to a movie like Speak No Evil, where it's like halfway through the movie, I'm like, all right, screw you two. You deserve to die. You deserve everything that's coming to you because you just, talk about being a victim by choice. Yeah, there you go, right there. In fact, at the end of the movie, at the end of Speak No Evil, the poor sons of bitch say, "Why are you doing this to us?" And the antagonist says, "Well, because you're letting us. You're letting me do this to you. So you're not fighting back. You're not standing up for yourself. Oh, so yeah, you deserve what's coming to you." Now, I've watched, but Talk to Me, I felt more empathy for Mia because even though pretty much every decision she made was bad, uh, I was still rooting for her to come out of this okay. And that's why I was like, at least get some grief counseling. I mean, Christ, don't they have health insurance in Australia? Now, if you'd like to see some more of Sophie Wilde's acting chops, she is in a series over on Netflix. I think it's like I think it's like 8 or so episodes, but it's called Everything Now. Now it's not horror; it's like a dramedy, I guess you could call it, a drama comedy. And oddly enough, she plays a character also named Mia in that one. I don't know. I guess the word the name Mia is really popular in Australia. I don't know, but it's basically about a teenager who is overcoming anorexia, and getting back into her friends circle, getting back into her life as a teenager, and I think it starts out where she's coming out of, I guess, like a therapy or some kind of a facility, and they finally discharge her, and yeah, she's just basically and some of the comedy aspect of it comes from her inner monologue that she narrates throughout the show, and just kind of the wild things that she's thinking of as she's trying to catch up on all the things that she missed when she was in therapy. But yeah, but it's over in Netflix, so if you want to see it, better get over there and watch it now and watch it fast, because you know how Netflix is. You know when they cancel something or pull something from their streaming service. But yeah, if you want to see Sophie Wilde in something that's not horror, check out Everything Now over on Netflix. All right, so now for number one, my number one top horror movie of 2023 is When Evil Lurks. Now, with as many horror movies that I've watched, and now as long as I've watched them, I've become desensitized. You know, so very rare that a movie scares me. I don't think any movie ever really scared me anymore. But this movie, When Evil Lurks, actually shocked me to the point where I had to I had to pick up my jaw from the floor. There was I think two scenes in particular that just shocked the hell out of me. It's like, oh my god, they went there. It wasn't, this is not what, and it was scenes that were so shocking that it wasn't, it implied. It wasn't something that you saw the aftermath of. It was nothing that was happening off screen and you were seeing people's reaction to it. No, they showed it, and oh my god. And this is and with me talking about talk to me where the characters were you know yeah, but here's another movie where you have two characters, they're two brothers, and they're making every decision that they're making is stupid. Every decision that they make makes things worse. And there are like seven, and I would like to see another movie, Fred, about this world, this universe that this takes place in, because the building in this movie is very deep and very original. They have like seven rules that you have to adhere to, and they treat the demon possession as like a virus or a plague. In fact, they refer to the possessed people as the rotten, and there are specific rules that you have to adhere to be able to get rid or dispel the evil successfully. If you screw it up or you violate any seven of those rules, any one of them, uh, the evil just basically the evil is born to run rampant and jump, possess all these other people. So you got these two brothers who are basically doing all the things that you're not supposed to do, and it's not out of ignorance. It's not a, it's, it, they could never say that. Oh, we didn't know. They know the rules. That they have some old wise woman telling them exactly what they had to do, and they're not listening to her. So this is one of those another movies where it's like, you're shouting out to the screens like, "You dumbass! What are you doing? You're making things worse." But anyway, and this is Argentinian film. This is the same director that came out with Terrified, not Terrifier, Terrified. I guess about, I don't know, 5 years ago. I forget what year it was, but it was a while back. That's another cool movie. And now he comes out with When Evil Lurks, and this here is like there's a reason why this movie is on the top of so many people's top 10 lists, and it's because it's one of the few movies that, for a hardened horror fan, this movie shocked people like us. And when a movie can actually shock somebody who's desensitized and hardened horror fan, and that says something. So anyway, that is my top 10 horror movies of 2023. And yeah, what are your thoughts? Do you think Skinamarink should have been on this list? Well, if you do, you're wrong, because this is my list and my show, and that's the way it works. All right, so that's about it for me. Thank you so much for listening. And I don't know, I might come out with a podcast of like my top movies that I'm looking forward to for 2024. I don't know. We'll see. If I feel like doing it, I'll do it. If not, then well, you won't hear it because I won't do it. so so that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time, wherever and whenever that may be.